Well, hello everyone. It is Karen Ann Harlos with this most recent episode of Jurassic Dictionary, where mostly every week we do skip sometimes we examine an odd, unusual, dead, or dying word, particularly if it has a cool historical spin. While I am more known for my political commentary, my lost calling is most certainly history. And the word we have today is a bit more recent because it was spotted in the wild 1 year before I was born, but it does harken back to way earlier. So, what word is it this week? It is Prick-Me-Dainty. I like that. I like the way it feels on my tongue. Prick-Me-Dainty. This word was also recently a word of the day. If you subscribe to those types of mailing lists, and my friend Sylvia Arrowwood brought it to my attention. So that's now how it's being brought to all of your attention. So off to Google I went, and I learned that this was the name of a vintage clothing boutique. And what an adorable name. I want to see the clothes, but unfortunately, they appear to have gone out of business some time ago. Their YouTube channel last had content 13 years ago, and their Twitter account, let me take a look at my notes. I think the last post was 9 years ago. So we're talking quite a bit. And that really is a bummer. I really wanted to see the clothes. I love vintage clothes, especially Prick-Me-Dainty vintage clothes. So what does it mean? Back to my notes. As a noun, it means one overly concerned with their personal appearance. A dandy, like Yankee Doodle. Yankee Doodle dandy. An adjective, overly concerned about one's appearance. So it can be a noun or it can be an adjective. The Oxford English Dictionary, one of my go-to resources, says a person who is excessively or affectedly precise or fastidious about dress or personal appearance. A dandy. And it notes that this word is now rare. The etymology is a combination of prick, get your mind out of the gutter, it means prick as in to pierce, plus me, plus dainty, meaning delicate. It's from the Old French, which I'll never pronounce, Dante, I guess, or Dante, pleasure, from the Latin dignus, worthy, and its early documented use is 1529, and as I had said, its latest organic documented use, at least in literature, was in 1966. This word reminds me of another word that has now become a part of my vocabulary that I first learned in the Showtime series, The Tudors, in describing Cardinal Wolsey, which is vainglorious. So I did some more Googling, and how about that verbification? And here's what I found to go back to my notes. It explained that the prick part came from pins that used to be used to fashion clothing, particularly clothing that was kind of fancy pants. And of course, unless you are Amish, that's not a thing anymore. You don't pin on your clothes. I don't have buttons, but I have a cool hat. Okay, sorry, Amish Paradise. Sorry, Weird Al. Anyway, so the emphasis on clothing, it kind of fell out of favor because, pins weren't necessarily used. Other types of fasteners came into common use. So it became more about fussiness, vanity, fastidiousness, not just in clothing, but in lifestyle and in personal habits. Think overweening, over-mincing. And over-mincing, that might not be a phrase you are terribly familiar with, but that should bring to mind old King James Bible, and I'm going to read you a passage from there in which mincing is used in that way. So in Isaiah 3, it says, "Moreover, the Lord saith, Because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanting eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Ooh la la. And what I was reading from before was an article. It's on a site called Worldwide Words. It noted today this word, Prick-Me-Dainty, is used very occasionally in historical novels. So when I had said the use in the wild in literature, it was a natural use of it, not an affected use of it where someone was trying to replicate an old-fashioned style. In that type of use, we can find it much more recently. For example, there's a quote from Dangerous Angels by Amanda Scott, which was written in 2014, in which it was stated, "I cannot even bring his features to mind, for I do not believe I have ever seen a portrait of him at home. Do you know what our brother looks like, Alfred dear? I know what he doesn't look like. Or actually, I know what he don't look like," Alfred said scathingly. "Anthony was no damned Prick-Me-Dainty fop." So that was replicating some historical language. All right, that's it for today with Prick-Me-Dainty. If you enjoy what I do, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel and perhaps take a look at my other channels, Pink Flame of Liberty, where I do political commentary from a libertarian perspective, and Pink Parliamentarian, which is another short form channel in which I give tips and tricks on Robert's Rules of Order. I may not look the part, but I am a registered parliamentarian. I thank you for spending this time with me as we frolic. Yeah, I guess that's a good word to use, as we frolic through history, picking up words as we go. So I hope you have an awesome day or night or whatever it is in your wonderful part of the world. Bye-bye.